Hello everyone. Please excuse the hair, I haven't had the chance to wash it yet, and there's nowhere for me to get it cut. So, to make it look better, I'm going to try wearing a hat. Nah, too old history, although much appreciated still, Gina. Nah, too classy. Can't beat a classic. So, on to the point of the video. First off, this video is going to be a... present seems like too generous of a word considering what's actually in it. But the point is, I want to thank everyone for helping me get up to, as of this moment, I'm just going to double check here, 143 subscribers. Thank you, each and every one of you. I mean it, I really do. You guys are the sole reason that I make these videos, to help people forget their troubles and, you know, especially nowadays. If I can make you laugh for 5 minutes, that's a win for me. And hopefully that's what I'm going to do today, with what I've got lined up for you. So I've decided that instead of doing a cheesy, thank you so much for helping me get to this number kind of video, every 100 subscribers I'm going to do a name pending fan treat. And if it gets to the point where I start blowing up and subscribers start going up by the thousands, then I'll have to do it every 1,000, and then if it blows up more, 10,000, so on and so forth. But for now, every 100 subscribers will get you guys a treat. If you guys want to suggest a treat for future videos, then feel free to do so down below. But, oh, that's actually, I've just reminded myself. Remember when I was at, 55, and I said I was going to do a review on Freddy? I haven't forgotten about that. It was just, at the time, things got really shit for me mental health-wise. I'm not going to go into it, but it is coming, and I am going to do it. I just need to make sure I'm ahead on regular videos first. But anyway, back to the point. So, today's treat is going to be me doing a critique of a unusual book. I haven't read this book, but the synopsis got me interested, to say the least. And God, it's probably not as funny as I'm making it, but I'm just laughing at the fact that I'm doing this. But so, first off, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the author before I tell you the title of the book. And she's called Ripley Rose. Or, well, I guess it's a woman. It could also just be someone faking an identity, because on Amazon there is no description of their bio. Ripley Rose is an author on Amazon who does erotic fiction. Not just any erotic fiction, gay erotic fiction. Not just any gay erotic fiction, gay erotic fiction which usually involves one member of the human species and however many of another. This author hasn't got a lot of books. In fact, if I'm just going to check now, the last one this person wrote was back in 2015 December. So they obviously haven't been active for quite a while. But judging by their titles, it's not hard to see why they didn't sell very well. The titles of her books include From Alpha to Pup, Encounter with the Radioactive Slime, I Was Impregnated by a Gay Shower Slime, Taken in the Graveyard, and today's book we're going to be reading, My First Zombie Dinosaur Dick. Yes, that's what we're going to be reading today. So the question might be right now, Zach, why are you looking up zombie dinosaur dicks? That would be a fair question. However, I'm going to answer that with a story. So, the other night, I was Googling ideas for a D&D campaign, and by accident, I discovered zombie transformers. Yes, zombie robots. And as I was looking, the word zombie triggered a memory of a drawing that I'd seen of a zombie T-Rex. So I Googled zombie dinosaurs, and up came this cover. Disgusted, yet intrigued, I went and had a look. And I was amused. by what I saw, to say the least. Judging by the synopsis alone, it was definitely something I wanted to share because, as you know, on Spectrum Z we do the retro, the forgotten, the obscure, and the downright weird. And this is going to be way down there for weird. Play with God and you get what you deserve. Gary's been working with his team on Reviv, a project to make functional models of dinosaurs for educational purposes. But somebody had other ideas, it seems, and the project goes horribly wrong, spawning zombie dinosaurs with a thirst for human arse. Can you be thirsty for arses? Not hungry for arse? I don't know. And we are going to dive headfirst into the My First Zombie Dinosaur Dick book. So, a few disclaimers before we start. This is not a breach of copyright. This is not me reading out the entire book to try and make it for free. This is a critique and a live reaction to it. I am going to be reading out the whole book, but I'm going to be cutting it up into segments to only the best bits and my best reactions. And I'm going to need a drink for this. Alright, here goes. My First Zombie Dinosaur Dick. I'm going to need a bigger drink. Alright, so here we go. Hello everybody, this is Zach after reading the book and editing the video. If you are triggered by necrophilia, bestiality, and graphic sexual scenes descriptions, click off the video now. You have been warned. I walked into the room slowly, taking in the giant machine in front of me. It was the pinnacle of all my work my team and I had been doing, and it was amazing to see it in its finished glory. Is it ready? I asked. You bet, sir. Without another word, I went to join the rest of the team who were stood a distance away from the machine. Some of them were in as much awe as I was, and a few were furiously scribbling notes. For months now we have been building the Reviv, an ambitious project to breathe new life into ancient history. Excuse me a minute while I just grab some low-hanging fruit here. Has Jurassic Park taught these people nothing? Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we won't be having a Jurassic Park or anything. She actually mentioned it in the book. Far from it, what we are doing is synthesizing biological imprints left over from fossils with our own sinew-building technology, allowing us to create a living, breathing model dinosaur, or dinorama, if you will. It felt like only yesterday that I'd been on the news talking about it. Now these dinosaurs won't be able to move or eat anything like that because we don't have that kind of technology to create an actual brain for it. I'd think if you want to make a living model, a brain is pretty important. Especially if you're wanting to study it for educational needs. The brain seems like one of the most necessary parts of a dinosaur. So you can observe its hunting patterns and its thought patterns and why it wants to fuck you. What it will do is allow us to use the other parts of its body, the organs, the tissue, and so on as a simulation to let us see how accurate our model actually is. We hope that, with this, we can get a picture of what the dinosaurs look like in much more precise detail. It'll be a sight to see. The cameras were watching at a safe distance, and the producers were antsy to start the live broadcast. I swatted away a few of them who were pestering me at the start. You can't rush art. For some reason though, I have the distinct feeling that this author rushed this out, if you can call it art, in the space of 30 minutes while she was on break somewhere. Preparations are ready, sir, said one of the junior researchers, approaching from the machine. I looked around. I wanted to do one last check before starting. After all, my whole career was practically riding on this, but I knew... Hang on. But I knew, sensed we couldn't leave it any longer. There's a bit of a typo there. Did you spot it? So, I knew... I'm guessing that's going to be since. So, but I knew since we couldn't leave it any longer. Or maybe just cut it out altogether. I knew we couldn't leave it any longer. Okay, let's get rolling. almost tripping on an overturned chair as I darted round the corner. The entrance to the kitchen was there at the end of the corridor. I whirled through the door and slammed it shut behind me, grabbing the nearest chair I could find and pushing it against the door. I stood still for a moment. So, hang on a minute. We've gone from him turning on the machine in the live broadcast to now running into a kitchen. I think we've missed a bit of important detail there. Like, how the fuck did it go wrong and why are you running into the kitchen? I also have to say, we know nothing about this guy. Is he the lead scientist on this team? Is he just a rich billionaire who's hired a team? We don't even know his name. I'm guessing it's a he because of the guy that's on the cover. How am I supposed to put myself in the character's position if I can't identify with them? It's not a position I want to be in, though. The door creaked a little as the raptor nudged against it, but barely budged. There were a few seconds of silence before I heard the raptor pace back, and then slam itself against the door. I jumped, almost falling out of my chair. It repeated its attempts a few times, but the door barely moved. I tried as hard as I could not to breathe. Eventually, I stopped trying and heard it pacing away. I sat in silence for what felt like an hour, making absolutely sure it left. We were all conscious of the fact that playing God was dangerous, even if we wanted to rationalise that thought away. So we had been extra careful not to create something truly alive, as it were. And the result wasn't live, it was undead. I heard a bang from the laundry room. I jumped, letting out a whimper as I did. Trembling as I stood up and went to the door, I put my ear to it. At first, it was silent, but then I heard a quiet noise. It sounded like someone was banging some pots around in the distance. I looked around the kitchen to see if there was anything I could arm myself with. The only thing I could find was a frying pan. That'll have to do, I thought. Pan raised, I turned the door handle slowly, trying to be as quiet as I could. I carefully pushed the door open. Grammar! I braced myself and made up my mind. Shooting forward like a dart, I wrenched the door of the laundry chute open with my hand, my other arm ready to come down with the frying pan. But I wasn't quick enough. The door opened to reveal the raptor, which was apparently ready and waiting my attack, and it jumped out with lightning speed, knocking me onto the ground. I screamed and I tried to hit it. If it's got you on the ground, you're dead. That's just the way raptors were. With the pan, but it caught it in its jaws and flung it across the room. It was on top of me now, its body pinning my legs down and its arms laid down on mine, digging into my forceps with its claws. I whimpered as it stared down at me, its beady yellow eyes glaring glassily at mine. I didn't have the energy to fight anymore. What happened wasn't what I expected. I felt the raptor move nearer to my face, its putrid zombie smell emanating towards me. But instead of a face full of raptor teeth, what I got instead was a lick. A slimy, gooey zombie raptor tongue caressing my face. I opened my eyes. It appeared to be happy. I looked down its body and saw a fleshy, pink object protruding from it, just below where a human's penis would be. It wants to mate with me? Before I had more time to process what was going on, the raptor began to make its move. It pulled down the neck of my shirt with a claw, effortlessly ripping the material and pulled it out from underneath me. It then discarded my lab coat before unbuckling my belt and ripping off my trousers. Soon, the only clothes that remained on me were my work boots and my underwear, through which, despite the fear pervading through me, revealed a hard cock bulge. Never did I think such a lurid fantasy would actually come true. This guy is starting to sound like a desperately lonely scientist. So, let's see, he's starting to sound like a stereotype as well. I'm just waiting to say that they're wearing glasses and they've got spots everywhere and the image will be complete. The raptor picked me up, balancing me between its claws, showing impressed strength and care, and carried me through to the kitchen, nudging slightly ajar the door open with its head. And now, my sweet, come on, let us head to the kitchen for more intercourse. I looked up at it as I was being carried, I could feel its heavy, monstrous breathing and the stench of the undead assaulted my nose. At first, it took all my being not to retch, but I felt myself growing accustomed to it, as there were more important things to think about in this situation. In fact, the situation even started to turn me on a bit. It was almost musty. The worst part is this isn't alcohol, it's juice. I don't drink alcohol, but I'm starting to think I should. The raptor dropped me onto one of the tables, but much more lightly than I expected. Clearly it thought me valuable enough not to throw around enough. Grammar. I turned over and looked up at it. For a moment we stayed still there, gazes locked before its beady eyes began to dart up and down my body, clearly focusing on my crotch bulge. You know, if my mum ever sees this video, she's going to be so proud. The raptor moved its head down to my leg and I tensed, still not sure if it was a trap and it was going to bite me. But having lowered itself down, it took its tongue out again, staring at my foot and licking it all the way up to my leg. I was unable to stop myself laughing as it tickled my foot, and I moaned as its slimy tongue swept along my thigh. It paused just above my underwear before deftly grabbing them with its front teeth and ripping them off. Notice how my enthusiasm at the start of the book has now faded to a disgusted perseverance. The bulging cock was freed, mere centimetres from the monster's face. I'm gonna need 2 of these. The raptor's eyes darted up at me. I was trembling in anticipation. It seemed to smile. It extended its large jaw out, covering my genitals, wrapping them in its hot, musty maw. I panted as the putrid inside of the raptor's mouth surrounded... Oh god. I panted as the putrid inside of the raptor's mouth surrounded my cock and balls, its tongue darting up and down across my shaft. What has my YouTube career come to? I'm doing this for you! Curling around my balls and poking at my cock slit. Oh! I knew it just wanted to get me excited, and I started to pant and moan loudly, already feeling myself nearing climax. The raptor seemed to sense this, reacting from my genitals. We locked eyes again, and there was a visible grin on its mouth now. It moved forward and gave a big lip up my neck and on my face, as I felt its cock poke against my leg, as it did so. Hello everyone, it's me again, this time with added support animal. I figured at this point the video was getting pretty long, and it's not really fair to go through the entire book. Otherwise, people who might want to read it won't have a surprise. So, we're going to end the video here, but stay tuned to find out where you can get the book if you want to, you sick and twisted individual. I think I'm going to have to wash my phone with holy water and my mouth out with Swartfiga. So, summary of the book. It's disgusting. I don't know who has a kink like this, and, you know, to each their own and all that stuff, but, this is definitely not a book for me. I thought it would be a laugh, and it was at first, but then it quickly turned into self-inflicted torture. Jeez, holy fuck. Oh, God. Either way, it's... If you want to gross someone out or have a laugh, if this is your thing, then get the book. It's on Amazon. It's dirt cheap. Ripley Rose is the author again. If you want to... Jesus Christ. Oh, the images. If you want to support Ripley Rose, the link to her profile on Amazon and her books are down below. Oh, God. I feel so unclean right now. But thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and again, thank you for helping me get to 143 subscribers. You guys are the reason I do YouTube, and I want to see you guys being happy and smiling and forgetting your troubles. Although watching this video, I've probably just given you more. If you like what you saw, guys, you know what to do. The subs, If you like what you saw, guys, you know what to do by now. And I appreciate every one of you. Love you. And I will see you next time. I need a refill.